With the rise of artificial intelligence, many industrial processes and tasks have been automated to the point where you need to do literally nothing and still get the job done. But what if you could use AI to stick a language into your brain so that you will learn without much effort and still very fast? Well, that's actually possible, and anyone can do it for free if using the right tools and, more importantly, the right method. So stay tuned, because in this video, I'll guide you through the complete step-by-step process and introduce 3 tools to make you automate your language learning journey. But first, we need to know, how does a brain actually learn a new language? As a polyglot myself, I can say that it's actually very simple and straightforward. You simply need to memorize the meaning or the translation of each word. But don't worry, it's not difficult at all if you follow the memorization technique I am about to show you. And since you are going to have to learn word by word, it would be very smart if you memorize the most used words of a language, right? Of course, this way you would master the language much faster and be able to understand and communicate in no time. And for that, we'll be using our first magic tool, which is databasic.io, a website that provides the most used words in a text. So now, all you have to do is gather some texts, books, lyrics, and subtitles of the language you're learning or want to learn, copy and paste, click on Count, and download the list of most frequent words right here. You'll get a spreadsheet file of the words and how many times they appear in the given text. But now a question arises. How many words do we need to know in order to master a language? I have 2 answers to this question. The first one is that, from my experience and from the TED Talk presented by Lonsdale, 5,000 words are more than enough to communicate with native speakers of any language, watch movies, read books, and understand about 90%. In English, for example, just 2,700 words would be enough. And for those who want to go even further, specialists affirm that knowing 1,000 words allows you to understand 99% of most texts in any language. Make your choice and let's go to the next step. Copy the most used words and paste them into a text file. So now you know how many words you must learn to master a language. You even got the most used words, but how to actually memorize and learn all of them? To explain this, I want you to imagine a kid who just moved to a new city and now has to go to school every day on his own, but he doesn't know the route and which streets to go. So, on the first day, this kid uses a GPS to go from his home to his school 100% of the way. On the second day, he has created memories of the course and is able to go 40% of the way without the need for a GPS. On the third day, he goes 70% of the way without a GPS. And by the 4th day, he can go all the way without the need of a GPS, but still struggling a little to remember the way. And by the 10th time, he has already mastered the way from his house to school. No more need for a GPS, no more struggles to remember the way, he just does it mindlessly. What happened is that the kid was telling his brain every day to memorize that route by forcing his brain to guess the route without the help of a GPS, and whenever he guessed it, the stronger the memory got. What was also very important to memorize the route were the memorized places. For example, on the second day the kid went to school, he saw a grocery store, which he was slightly familiar with, and that grocery store reminded him that he should turn left in the next corner. By the 3rd day, he saw a huge apple tree in a park, and that reminded him he should turn right in the next corner. Every time he went to school, he created new memories of that new city. These memories would help him remember the course from his house to his school, until the point he wouldn't need a GPS anymore. That's pretty much how you memorize things. Your existing memories help you create new ones, and it works the same for learning words of a language. To learn a new word, you simply need to see the translation of it and guess it multiple times in the next days. But not every day, that would be unnecessary and too harsh. It's also important to guess the translation of the word in a phrase which you know all of the other words, following the same dynamic of the kid memorizing the route from his house to his school. You should also check the translation of that word again if you don't remember it at all, just like the kid would use his GPS if he doesn't remember what direction he should go. But now we need these phrases, and where do we get them? ChatGPT for sure. You can get the prompt I use in the description of this video. Let's assume I want to learn Spanish, then my prompt will be like this. ChatGPT, list one phrase. For each of the following Spanish words, the phrases need to be at least 4 words long and no longer than 6 words. Now we need to copy these phrases and paste them on a text file. But do you remember I told you it's important to guess the translation of the word in a phrase which you know all of the other words? In order to make our method work out, we'll need to highlight the word we don't know in each phrase we got from ChatGPT. But what if you don't know any word in the phrases the AI gave you? Don't worry, I have it all planned and I'll show you soon. I didn't find any website to do the highlighting, so I wrote a Python script myself that will highlight each word for us. You can use this code on your browser. I put the link in the description. To use it, you need to click on File and Save Copy in Drive. Then, just paste the ChatGPT phrases right here and run the code. The sentences will come up with a colon at the end, but don't mind it. We actually need them for one of the next tools. Now that you have each word highlighted, we are going to copy and paste them on a blank text file. Okay, so we got the phrases. What do we do next? Get the translation of them. Of course. For that, we'll use Google Translate. Simply put the phrases with highlighted words on it and wait for Google to do its magic. Done. But for our method, we need to have these phrases side by side. You can do it by pasting the them and their translations on 2 columns on a Google Sheet, then copy these 2 columns and paste them on a blank text file. That's it. You have all the needed material to learn your chosen language. But wait, we got the most used words in the language you want to learn. We got the phrases and their translations. But how on earth will you manage to memorize all these words? Do you need to guess the translation of the words every single day, like the kid guessed the route from his house to his school? God, no, but only if you understand the following concept. Hermann Ebbinghaus was a German psychologist who pioneered the study of memory in 1885. He observed that after learning new material, his subjects forgot 50% of the information within 30 minutes. After 24 hours, they had forgotten between 70% and 80%. Ebbinghaus named this phenomenon the forgetting curve. Ebbinghaus also noticed that with each repeated exposure to the new material, the speed of forgetting slowed significantly. As such, he realized that the best way to combat the curve was through spaced intervals of active recall, what we call spaced repetition. The goal of spaced repetition is to review that new material when it is foggy, but not completely forgotten. This means that the ideal time to revisit newly learned material is 1 day after that first exposure. This should be followed by another revision session after 2 days, then another review after 4 days, followed by a series of reviews spaced so that each succeeding interval is progressively longer than the one before. And how do we do this in practice? We are going to use a free-to-use program called Anki. This app will show us a phrase of the language we are learning with one highlighted word. The word which you must guess the translation, you press the button to show the answer. And if guessed it right, you press the right button. And if got it wrong or didn't remember the answer, press the wrong button. By doing this every day, Anki will automatically schedule the phrases according to your answers. The more you press the right button for a specific question, the longer the interval for the next review will be, because the answer is already a strong memory in your brain and it works similarly for when you press the wrong button. Anki will show that question more frequently until you start guessing it right and press the right button. So now I am going to teach you how to actually put these questions on Anki. First, you need to install it. I put the links in the description. After installed, open the program and create a deck, name it however you want, then click on File, Import, and select the file text file with the phrases and their translation. The one we copied from a Google Sheet, check the Allow HTML in Fields box and that's it. Now all you need to do is open your deck and answer the questions, but remember that you have to do it every single day. But wait, with this, we can only learn to read. What about listening? Well, for that, we will simply copy the phrases we generated with ChatGPT, the ones without the highlighting, and generate audios off them on any text-to-speech tool. I put the link of one in the description. With the audios ready, just read the phrases while listening to them. This way, you will improve your listening skills. And when you feel good enough, start listening without reading it. That's the key to mastering listening. That was it, guys. If the video was helpful and you liked it, I ask you to subscribe and leave a thumbs up. Stay strong. See you.